To my real estate agent friends, let me break down to you what I call my non-discrimination policy. And I want you to understand this is coming from the mindset of someone who is a full-time real estate investor. And so how I approach this may be different how other investors who maybe are not full-time, as well as maybe a civilian who's not really an investor or who maybe is more of an accidental landlord, investor type of that. So I want to explain to you when it comes to my policy. To break it down simply, when it comes to buying a property, I pretty much have a no discrimination policy, which means I will buy through any real estate agent. Now, there are some maybe small caveats, but for the most part, I'm going to work with just about any agent. Again, if they're like there's small caveats. The small caveats is like if it's a hyper creative deal, but they're not willing to, for example, allow me to be a part of the conversation because I don't want there to be monopoly. And if someone doesn't understand, for example, a really complex type of deal and they're wanting to take like Chinese and play monopoly with it, but they've never heard Chinese before. I mean, again, that's risky. And so I'll say, hey, can we jump on a three-way phone call? I'll make sure you get paid. Like, I'm not trying to skirt around you. I just want to make sure it gets communicated effectively. The only other part would be if the person's just a straight up asshole. Like, there's few people that I like can't eventually get along with or figure things out with, but I've had a few small instances where I was like, I just want to do business with this person. Okay. So generally speaking, though, non-discrimination, I will not discriminate. I will buy. I am deal centric when it comes to buying. Okay. Now, when it comes to selling, that's a different story. I do have discrimination there, uh, legal discrimination, right? We're not talking illegally here. But the reality is that when it comes to buying, I'm focused on the deal. The deal can come from any source. And so whether it's an agent who has a pocket listing, whether it's an agent who has a listing and they're looking for dual agency, whether it's an agent who finds the right type of deal that I'm looking for, I'm down for it. And I find that this type of policy agents can actually get their like panties on a wad over because they feel that, investors aren't loyal. Like at the end of the day, ultimately, what are investors looking for? They're not, there are some investors who will be loyal to an agent, especially if that agent brings them value, educates them, helps them in some capacity along the way. But when it comes to buying, especially there's so many real estate investors who are educating themselves, you know, with the way of technology, they're more independent in the process. Keep in mind, especially if this is an experienced investor, they don't necessarily need help with the process. They need access. They need you to be a member of their team and so bring value. And so there's a level there that's how I operate. I've bought properties from, at this point, maybe close to 100 different agents. I do a lot of business with different real estate agents. Just this morning, I was teaching at a real estate brokerage in Baton Rouge and sharing my buy box literally at the end of my presentation. After teaching for an hour and a half on the foreclosure process in Louisiana, I then shared my buy box. And I said, hey, here is how we can do business together. I would love to buy a deal with you, right? So, non discrimination, I do not discriminate if the deal fits what I'm looking for. Now, the selling side, again, there is legal discrimination there. That's a whole separate story. That's a whole separate skill set. Very different. So, what do you guys think on this policy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is another day, another video. Look, I love working with real estate agents, and hopefully, this is a policy that is easy to understand. Not here to hurt anyone's feelings. Not here um, to only do business. I've had some agents be like, hey, Courtney, I didn't want to bring you a deal because I thought you only worked with, this and this agent. I said, no, honey, I am like, I'm not monogamous when it comes to buying deals, right? I will buy from different sources. So I don't discriminate where it comes from, as long, obviously, as ethical and things like that. But at the end of the day, what we are looking for is deals. As long as it's what I'm looking to buy, hey, I want to do business with people. So if you're a real estate agent in South Mississippi, Baton Rouge, the North Shore, or the greater New Orleans area, and we don't know each other, let's get to know each other. I'd love to share my buy box with you. I'd love to chat with you over a phone call. Happy to do so. Have a great day, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's another day, another video.